Hello, friends. Welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. I am your host. There is nowhere I would rather be than right here, right now with you. This podcast is all about leveling up in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are leveling up. You ready? Hello, friends. Happy June. If you are listening to this on drop day, drop week, it is the beginning of June. And so what do I want to spend time with all of you today talking about? I want to show you and I want to teach you why the summer is so important in your business. I want to talk about how to separate yourself from the rest, how to utilize the summer to end this year really huge. And I want to start with a story that I have definitely shared before. And it isn't necessarily about the summer, but it is about how and why to put the work in and to push yourself, because there's always going to be people who take their eye off the ball. So I went to a company conference, my company conference, 3 months after starting my business. So I started my business May 30th. I went to this conference in September. Now I walked in feeling so inspired, so proud, so on fire, like I had led my team to a level that really wasn't average or typical in that time frame. And looking back on it now, my ego was a little bit on overdrive. Okay. I was very young in my leadership, and I walked in thinking that I was like all that in a bag of chips. Like I have led my team to this level. And when I went to that conference, that was the first time that in person I saw top earners. Like there was no social media. You weren't seeing people on Instagram. I had no idea who these people were. So I saw these people like cross the stage as top income earners. And I watched them walk for like these amazing big awards. And I was in the stands. And at first I was like a little bit deflated, because here I am like thinking like I did all this and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm such a small fish in a big pond. And then I was also thinking like they're already top earners. So like if they have spots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 20, how can I be one of those spots? Like they're already there. And I think I had the mindset that people's businesses just continue to grow. People do what they continue to say. And so in my mind, they were all ahead of me. And then what happened is like a few minutes later, it hit me. And I was like, it's not just about my company. It's just about life in general. Most people, average people, take their eye off the ball at some point. Average people pull back. Like maybe we work really hard for a level, a title, an income, and then we're like, oh, we've done it. And even if you what's the book I'm thinking of? The Slight Edge, okay, which is one of my favorite books. There's actually a statistic in there, which is like kind of freaky, but like excited. If you want to be one of those people that are like the top, it's like 95%. I want to say it was like 95, 96, 97, 94, like somewhere around there, okay? That percentage of people will never, regardless of what profession, will never put in the work and the effort that they did to achieve their last rank or their last promotion. So I was like, like, because average work for a goal and then never do what they did again to achieve that goal. Most people ride on their success versus build it. It's not my company, it's every industry. Okay. So of course, I was like wishing them all well, but I was like, I'm not going to let this in my heart. I'm going to run my own race. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to live in my word, and I'm going to set goals, and I'm really going to go after them. So when I went home, I put my head down and I got to work. I wasn't looking for the glory. I actually and I say this all the time, there's so many pluses to social media, but like I had no idea what people were doing around me. I have no idea who was promoting. I have no idea who was doing nothing. I had no distractions. I stayed in my own lane. I had blinders on. And gosh, friends, like think about all of the time, the minutes that I saved scrolling on my phone, because when we even took pictures of these events, I brought this thing called a camera. I brought a camera and then downloaded it to my computer, because there was Facebook, but like you would like download all the pictures, you'd create an album, and like like sometimes it took months to get them on Facebook. Okay. So there was no distractions. So I was looking to build in the dark. I was building when nobody was clapping for me. I built discipline when I felt tired. I kept my vision at the forefront of my choices every day, because every day you're presented with choices, right? Remember, your future is a result of your habits and your choices, and especially in this business. And I reminded myself to make choices that supported my future self, my future business, not my feelings. And so, long story short, I built to be a top earner, and people will get distracted. People will put a business that requires discipline on the back burner when their feelings are like, I want to go to the beach. So one of actually my favorite network marketing books is called Beach Money. It's by Jordan Adler. And if you haven't read it, order it today. You will be absolutely blown away. I'd rather build and work for beach money than to just sit on the beach today and be scrolling and wasting time and wishing my life was different. I have a choice and you have a choice. And so let me start by letting you know why summer is so important. So the reason I told you that story, why did I tell you that story? There's a reason I told you. Oh, the whole point is like the summer right now, sometimes I get distracted, you guys, like squirrel. It's like there will be people that take their eye off the ball. Don't take your eye off the ball. Be different. Okay. So I want to talk about why summer is so important and how to utilize it to move forward instead of going in circles. And you want to talk about what going in circles is? If you've been in your business for a period of time, and I'm going to ask you guys like this really hypothetical question is like, how many times do you set a goal at the beginning of the year? And then you're like, I'm at the end of the year and I'm at the same exact place that I started the year. And I'm going to tell you why some of that happens is because we set this big goal. It's 12 months. And then we lose sight of the 12 months. And we don't treat every single, because 12 months is a lot of time, but it's also not a lot of time. But if we're going to wait till September to be like, I'm doing it, it doesn't work that way. Like if you don't build over the summer, if you don't bring in new over the summer, if you don't build a new customer base over the summer, like you're not creating miracles starting in September. So your business is always going to be up and down until you become the consistent one in your business. So typically in my business, right, there are seasons that are bigger than others. It exists in most businesses. So typically the fall season is the absolute biggest season. And this is why this is what people do. They wait. They wait until September. Just like the podcast that I think dropped last week, like people wait till they're at the conference. Like, we're at the conference. This is going to be amazing. Why not prepare? Why not take the 3 months before the conference to build your team, build your belief, build your vision, get hungry, like just really blow it out. So when you're there, it's not just you being inspired by the conference and the new products and the motivation and the inspiration and the vision, but like you have a team of people that are also, it's like people miss this thing and then they're prolonging their success because they're waiting and they're procrastinating. Okay. So people declare these goals in January, they work, but let's be honest, most people don't work at their potential. And then the fall comes and they think, this is all going to come together in the fall. And then January comes and they're in the same exact spot and then declaring their goal all over again. So are you guys ready to make changes? Like, are you ready to be like, you know what? This is my year. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to lead my team and my business to the next level. And so I want you to understand what the definition of insanity is. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So if we want a different result, we have to be different. We must do things different. Big goals happen at year end when we build for them right now. So let me tell you, in addition, I love summer in my business. I really do. Truth is that average people get distracted. And this is when I got to work. So I really love the summer because you guys know my story, unless you're brand new here. And if you're brand new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so grateful. But I started my business on May 30th, 2006. So you guys, this podcast is dropping June 2nd. June 2nd is when I wrote a letter to myself, which I've talked about many times. I wrote this thing called a declaration. I wrote my name. I wrote, today I have this title. This is where I'm going to be. I'm in it to win it. I'm going to build one of the largest teams. And I put an X and a thing and I signed it June 2nd, 2006. But on June 1st, I had no team. I had not sold anything yet. The products that I ordered to use and share didn't even arrive yet. My kids at the time were 6 years old, 4 years old. My twins were 1.5. I was watching 7 kids under the age of 5. School ended that month. And so what that mean was that my oldest, my 6 and my 4-year-old, Brooke and Tyler, were now going to be home full time, right? Because they were going to school, whatever it was, 8 to 3. So I had a little bit more time. But I was still with my 4 home full time, watching the same amount of children, 7 kids under the age of 5, full time in my house. And the truth is that before I started my business, my initial thought was like maybe I'll wait. Like maybe I'll wait till September. And you know what? I was so excited when the vision was first casted to me. And I say it all the time. Like I left that backyard barbecue. I felt amazing. I felt like dun, 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 dun. I had a cape on. But then what happens is like we all have these underlining beliefs. We all have these fears. So some of mine were, who's going to join me? I never sold a thing in my life. I don't know anything about this profession. Blah, blah, blah. All these stories, these fears. You have 4 children. You're watching 7 children. Like you don't have any time. You don't have any money. Like all of these things kept coming up. So I'm like, you know what? I'll do this, but I'll do it in September. You guys, when we do that, we talk ourselves out of our greatness. Like, and it was a real thought. I'm like, the kids will be back at school, right? So I'll have a little bit more time. And that thought was true. But then I realized that I was at an inflection point. You guys, I've come to so many inflection points in my business, and you're going to hit so many inflection points in your life and in your business. And so what do I mean when I mention the word inflection point? It's a point that you could go one way or you could go the other way. Okay. But it's basically changing the trajectory of where you're headed. And it's a choice that you could make that has the potential to change the path of your life. So I was at an inflection point, right? I really wanted it. I wanted more. I was praying for more. I saw the power in this business. But then the other part of me is like, you don't have time. You don't have money. All your kids are small. You're babysitting kids. You never sold a thing in your life. Wait till September, right? But here's the thing. I wanted a different life. I wanted more. But in order to do that, I had to do something different. I could not think with my logical mind and expect to have extraordinary results. So I then realized, yes, Deb, you can wait to have more time, or you can learn how to utilize your time efficiently and effectively and start your business right now. And if you want, like in my mind, like I'm starting at ground zero, but if I jump in right now, I could be building instead of like starting at ground zero in September, right? So I jumped in and I got to work. And I recommend wherever you are in your business right now, treat summer like you just started. Like stand out, build your team, build your client base, build your vision, build your discipline, and set yourself up for the best fourth quarter of your life and your business. This is the preparation season. This is the separation season. The summer is when you are you a leader? Or are you just kind of building this as a hobby? Either one is fine. We say it all the time. Whatever you want out of this business, whatever you want out of this industry, you can find it here. But this is preparation season and this is separation season. You're training for the Olympics. You're training for an Ironman. Now, I'm using Ironman because 2 of my men just did them, right? Scott and Tyler. Tyler's been doing quite a few races. Scott just did his first race, and I'm very inspired watching them. So in order to do amazing in that race, they're working out 4 hours a day. Like, can you imagine working out 4 hours a day? I can't imagine working out 4 hours a day, right? And when I go to these races, I can always bring myself back to my business because I think, I know what I did to grow to the 1% of the 1%. And it's the choices that I made when nobody was watching. So when I go and I see thousands of people at these races, I think to myself, how many people trained the way they did? How many people gave the time and the effort when nobody was watching like they did? So first, let's start with even finishing the race, right? Is a huge accomplishment. It is. Right. And again, I could bring it back to my business. Growing to certain levels is a huge accomplishment. But at every level, there's the top ones and the average ones. Okay. But going back to the race, but the results vary by the work that you put in. And so I watched them bike outside when it was pouring, when it was really easy to cut a corner and be like, I'm just going to skip a day. What's one day going to do? How many times do we say that in our business? What's one day going to do? I was going to work today. Nobody's watching. I'm my own boss. That's the beauty of my own business. Nobody needs to be watching. Your results are the evidence. Okay. So I would watch them like, who wants to bike for 4 hours in the rain? You guys, I don't even want to bike for 2 minutes in the rain. Okay. I've watched them run and bike in the cold and the wind. I don't like getting the mail in the cold and the wind. But if they skipped a day, the reality is nobody would know but them, but it showed in their results. And so I look at Scott, he is 56 years old and he finished top 20 in his age group. And it wasn't luck, it was preparation. If you want to finish in the top, it's preparation. If you want to promote, if you want to succeed, if you want to build through the ranks, it all comes down to your preparation, your discipline, and your commitment. When we put off preparation, we compromise our results and we end up going around in circles and circles and circles. We gain a little momentum, we grow a little bit, and then we take our foot off the pedal and then we lose it. And then we wait to get motivated again, and then we grow a little. We bring up our business, we feel on top of the world, and then we're like, we're tired, we deserve a break. And then we lose what we just built. It's the same thing if you're working out. You can't just go and do this for 3 months and then just stop doing it and expect to be in the same shape and have the same stamina. So not only does building in the summer prepare you for the fall, but it builds momentum and leadership. Okay. So some more of my top tips for summer. Decide your non-negotiable goal for September 1. And then another one that's for year end. Those 2 dates are very monumental because September 1, you have June, July, and August. And then September rolls around, you have September, October, November, and December. And so they go hand in hand. When we just schedule a goal for the end of the year, what do you do in June, July, and August? Are we expecting to just, it's one of those things that, like you set a health goal for 3 months from now, and you don't start really moving your body or eating healthy now, maybe you could starve yourself 2 weeks before, but it's all about the preparation. Okay. So in order to accomplish your January 1st goal, it requires a September 1st goal leading up to it. June 1st, I set 2 goals and I wrote them down and I spoke of them as if they were fact. Now remember, June 1st for me, 19 years ago, no team of 1, no ranking, no title, just ordered some products to get started, never built this in my life. Okay. I spoke of those 2 goals as if they were fact. I told everyone about them. I spoke life over them. And you guys, people always say sometimes like, don't declare, like, I'm not saying I was hyping it up, but I was affirming it. I was speaking life over them. I was giving them life. And I enrolled my future team in those goals and in those words. People want to join something moving. They want to join a winning team. And I don't mean a winning team like, haha, my team is better than yours. It's like, no, you are a coach. Why would people join something that's tiptoeing through the tulips or boring or no idea where you're going? When I opened any meeting, whether I was sitting talking to 2 people, 5 people, 20 people, I spoke with vision over my goals. I would say, good evening, everyone. My name is Debbie Neal. Today, actually, I wouldn't even say today. I said, I will be, and said my title, September 1. And on December 1st, I will be, over and over and over. And then I took a pen to paper and I backtrack those goals. Because sometimes we just throw out numbers or a title. It's like throwing spaghetti up against the wall. Like I've heard people say, this is going to be this is where I'm going to be in 2 months. I'm like, well, what's the plan in the next 2 months? Because to go from here to there, like my goals were aggressive, but so was my actions, my words, my activity. In my first week, I spoke to 100 people. I don't think left messages. I left way more than 100. I had 100 intentional conversations. And so it's if you're going to have big goals, and you have to have a big calendar and invest time in this. So, right. So then I took a pen and paper and I backtracked those goals. So for example, if you know your goal, what sales volume do you need each month building up to that goal. This doesn't happen magically. Goals are met intentionally. There are tons of people right now praying for what you have to offer, but it starts with belief. It starts with a knowing. It starts with a vision. Write down your non-negotiables goal for this month and get to work. Make a plan. Be flexible with the plan and stubborn with the goal. So what do I mean by that? When I set a goal, like I'll make a list, like whatever that sales goal is for you. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I've got people on my team shooting for this. This is where I think it's coming from. And so I look at that number daily and I'm constantly changing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought this person, had a big vision. They were doing this, but I don't really write down their goals based on their words. I based it on their activity. How many people they're getting me in front of? What does their calendar look like? So I'm always adjusting. I'm like, okay, these people said they're going to do this. Doesn't really look like it. I need to, bring in another 4 to 5 people and help, because we rise by lifting others. That's what I love so much about this business plan. So be so firm and stubborn with the goal, but very flexible with how you're going to meet it. So, and always make sure that you are the biggest part of the plan. Remember that nobody owes you anything. No one owes you anything. Nobody owes me anything. Plus, people are inspired by leaders who lead, not like needy people who are dragging people. When people feel like they're part of your bottom line, then it's like a feeling that they don't really feel good. You want to make sure that they feel like coached by you and led by you and inspired by you, but you have so much going on that you're not dragging them across the finish line. People are inspired by leaders who are urgent and abundant and leaders that create energy. You've decided your non-negotiable goal. Now stay the course. Everyday work. Every day share your business. One of the things that I teach is I tell people to get in front of and share your business and your products with at least 40 new people a month. If you're not getting in front of new people, that's like having a brick and mortar business and just not opening your retail store, right? So I was told 40, but I did more. Are you willing to do more? Are you willing to do more to create the business you want? So build your skills. Doing more increases your sales. Doing more shortens the gap. Of course, there's no guarantees. It's not like, oh, she said it would shorten the gap. It's a numbers game, right? If you do more presentations, chances are you're going to get more sales and more people looking at this business. But I knew that the harder I worked, the better results I would create. So build the discipline. Self-discipline is a fundamental habit for results and effective leadership. Self-discipline builds the ability to control our thoughts, dictate our actions, our decisions, and emotions, to live in your word and do what you said you were going to do. And we'll talk more about that in upcoming podcasts. I think we do a whole thing on self-discipline. Okay. So summer is the time of year to put your head down and build while other people are distracted. Now, when I say that, it's not like I'm competing, but hey, you want to take your eye off the ball? I'm going to cheer you on, but I'm moving anyway. There's this thing called the law of association. So also be really mindful who you're hanging out with this summer, because if there's not people that are not only cheering you on to the next level, but calling you out on your BS and pushing you, we have to decide, do we want to hang out with the people that make us feel good? Or do we want to hang out with people that push us to be better? If you hang out with 5 lazy people, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 people that are complaining why their business is not growing, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 people that are movers and shakers and building and earning and growing through the ranks, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 people that are always talking about dreams and goals and they're disciplined and they're having a great summer, but at the same time, they're scheduling the time to have a great business, you're going to be the 6th. I want you to know that you can have the most amazing summer, and at the same time, you can take your business to the next level. It's not like one or the other. It's not like, oh my gosh, it's the summer here, so we can't have a good time. I'm recording this episode right now. And then the minute I'm done with this episode, I'm leaving with Ryan, his girlfriend, Carly, Bailey, Brooke. I'm not sure if Tyler and Jamie are coming. Scott's away, and we are going out to dinner, and we're going to have a great night. And I was like, you guys, I'm totally in for dinner. We just have to go at 6:15 because I'm recording this episode because I had to move it from yesterday because I'm picking Nana up from Long Island. And then I had to move it from this morning, my original time, because I was taking Scott to the airport. And my point is like, there's a way to get everything done. You can have both, but you need to be disciplined with your time. And here's the thing, you don't have to work your business constantly, but it is about being consistent. If your goal requires 2 hours a day, then give it, it's amazing to me when people talk about these ranks that they want to meet. And, every company has different earnings or whatever. But like some of them are they're like full-time job incomes. And then people are like, I want to squeeze it in for 20 minutes a day. Who shot John? What would make you think that you can build this business that has this type of income potential in 20 minutes a day? So when people ask me all the time, how did you build this business with 4 of your own children, watching 7 kids? I'm like, you guys, I was able to build it at home. I built it from my phone. I was selling the dream like I was on the floor of the New York City Stock Exchange. Everywhere we went, every play date, every mom that came over. People think it's pushy. I call it passion. I was talking to everybody about my business because I really felt like I discovered oxygen and I wanted everybody to know about it. I wasn't concerned if somebody said no to me. Let them say no to me. I say it all the time. My biggest fear is not rejection. My biggest fear is somebody looking me in the face and saying, Deb, why didn't you let me know how big this business was? So especially as a young mom with young kids, I was around people all the time, sharing my business, sharing my product, sharing my vision, asking them to take a look. I was making use of my time instead of just going through the motions. We don't even realize how many people we encounter every single day in our lives, which is an opportunity to share your business. So if your goal requires 2 hours a day, give it 2 hours of focused time a day. No scrolling, no distractions, work, build, live in your word, live in your commitment, then go to the beach, then go to the barbecues. And what do I consider working? Sharing your business, sharing your products with people. Fill up your calendar. We don't get paid to think. It's all about presenting and offering the business and sharing the products. And also, this is what I want to get you really excited about. Want to know what happens in the summer? People are out of their homes. They're at the beach. They're at restaurants. They're at backyard barbecues. That's where somebody met me. Make it your mission to meet new people. You guys, we get so locked in with social media sometimes that you're standing behind a phone, making all of your connections with technology. How about learning how to speak to people in the wild? How about having the courage and the guts to bring your business up to somebody in person instead of just asking to connect with them on social and then waiting till it's the right time to DM them? How about making this summer your mission to build that skill? Because what I've noticed when I started my business, I had no choice but to build that skill. It's called people skills. It's called connecting skills. People today, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. They're doing everything on DMs. Social media is good, but why are you eliminating all of the real conversations with meeting people out in the wild in this thing called life? Build the skill to connect with people in real life, okay? Listen for their whys. Build relationships, which is another skill set. Building a relationship is a skill set. Making conversation is a skill set. Learning when and how is the right time to bring up your business is a skill. Casting your vision and asking somebody for an appointment to talk to you is a skill. Learn how to do it. So listen for their why. Help connect the dots that your business can be the solution for their life. Practice casting a vision. Somebody casted a vision for me at a backyard barbecue. Share your vision and excitement. Build the skill of asking people to join you. Friends, I'm so excited for you. Let this summer be your preparation and build for the best year end you've ever had. The only way to have the best fall season is to build now. Enroll new team members now. And the rest of the summer, build and help them build. Friends, do you understand the power of expansion and exponential growth and adding new to your team? Network marketing is you selling products, which is the direct selling piece of this business, and teaching other people how to sell products. You can build this business as big as you want. And people say, oh, most people don't. Okay. Most people don't play in the NFL either. What do you want out of life? Because this is a business that you could start for relatively no startup costs. Doesn't matter your education, doesn't matter your age, as long as you're 18, doesn't matter your sex, your education. You've got some grit and a desire for more. You can build this business. You can bring as many new people into this business as you want. And I'm saying this with love, and it may sting, but when we sit at the same level for an extended period of time, it comes down to a few things. One, maybe you just don't want it. Maybe you're saying you want it, but your actions are not in alignment. Maybe you're avoiding the work. Maybe you don't want it bad enough. Or maybe you don't realize the power of building a team and building just more with and adding to your team. This business allows you to take ownership, to lead from the front, to become a person of excellence. But it starts with you. Leaders go first. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to do what you know you're capable of? Allow June, July, and August to be your transformation season, your preparation season, your separation season. Separate yourself from the rest. The road to average is really crowded. Let this be your grit season. Build in the dark so you and your team can shine, truly shine. I believe in you. I started June as a team of one, just me and my vision. And you know what I did next? I rolled up my sleeves and I gave my vision wings because I worked. I shared my vision with 100 people in a week. And 4 people said yes to me. You guys, the odds are not that good, but the excitement was there. I packed my calendar with 15 personal presentations. When people say it's a lot, like, are you willing to work 15 days for your dream? I presented my business and my products 15 times. I enrolled 4 people and I taught them how to do the same. That's exponential growth. We ended the month as a team of 25. Then in July, I did the exact same thing. I didn't rest on those laurels. I built on it, head down, building, sharing, working, and doing lots of personal growth. My results are not typical, but I didn't want to be average. Do you? We can make excuses this summer, or we can make money. Friends, the choice is yours. You choose. I love you. Thank you for being here. This is your season to level up. Happy summer.